Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to take you through the Forex market wrap, going to highlight the news this week and some charts to watch that we pointed out in our recent videos. So going through the news, first of all, there wasn't too much in the way of large impacting data. We did kick off with the RBA and they left rates at 0.1%. Now we felt that because the RBA left rates unchanged, that it was a little bit disappointing to investors because the RBA had recently talked about hiking rates and even being quite aggressive with hiking rates. And the fact that they've left the rates unchanged would just be a little bit of a disappointment to investors. And we kind of identified Aussie as one to watch for a little bit of downside this week, especially against currencies that are getting stronger, like the pound, for instance. The Aussie has fallen this week, which we'll take a look at in a second. We got some US services PMI data, which came in just under expectations. But the big news really was, for the US anyway, the FOMC meeting minutes. In these meeting minutes, we saw that FOMC or Federal Reserve members actually wanted to see a 50 basis points hike rather than the 25 basis points hike that we saw, which basically means that the Fed could continue to get a little bit more aggressive with their rate hikes at the moment. So we could be seeing a little bit more sort of bullishness in the US dollar in the short term, despite the sort of seasonal pressures on the dollar. And then we had some CAD employment data. Jobs came in just under expectations at 72.5 thousand. We then had the unemployment rate drop to 5.3%. So not bad numbers there. Obviously nowhere near what we saw previously, but still positive creation of jobs. Moving on then, so pound US dollar was one to watch going into this week, mainly because we wanted to see the pound strengthen. And the markets, seasonally, the pound is very strong. Strength meter was showing pound moving from the lows. We didn't get the impulsive phase that we expected on pound US dollar. Instead, price traded back below the 131, and in the week ahead analysis video, we said if price traded below 131, the likelihood is that we'd trade back to 1.3. That's what we had now. I think long-term buying for the pound is only going to step in if we trade back above 132. So that is a really important area to be watching in the near future. Despite this drop against the US dollar, pound has been pretty strong against the majority of currencies. It's just the dollar really that it's failed to strengthen against. But you know, we've pulled back into previous weekly lows now. Could be the point where we'd start to kick on from there. Moving on then to Aussie US dollar. Again, Aussie was featured because of the strength meter. Really wanted to see Aussie fall this week, and we've started to see that. We did get an initial burst above last week's highs. Price failed to hold above that level, and we've dropped ever since, dropping back below previous week's high. And it looks to me like we're going to start seeing a little bit more selling pressure coming into this market now. So need to be aware that the 4-hour hasn't quite changed trend yet, although we have kind of made a new low through here. We've struggled to break through this 0.7457 area. So I'd want to see price trade through that point and then give us an opportunity from a supply zone in order to trade that a little bit lower. Kiwi was the same. Wanted to see some downside on Kiwi. Kiwi on the strength meter was more likely to move lower this week because the strength meter highlighted that the Kiwi had made more significant reversals from the extreme highs, and we've seen a really nice bearish engulfing candle coming in here now. Price again failed to really create any higher highs here. We dropped down. In a recent video, we looked at price coming back into this supply zone for some further downside. We haven't had that yet, so there's still some time to see if price will pull back next week for an opportunity at this supply zone around about that 6940 area. Finally then, pound Aussie was one to watch going into this week. We like the idea of starting to look for long positions on this market, mainly due to the seasonal analysis around pound and the fact that pound is moving from the lows of the strength meter, Aussie is moving from the highs. And we can see here we came into around about 1.7190 and we saw a big reversal coming into the market there. Now we're starting to consolidate on the 4 hour. Gives us an idea to potentially look for further long opportunities. I like the fact that we're oversold on the RSI as well, and if that does start to kick back above the 30, if we did get a strong bullish close, it could be a big sign that price is going to start pulling back in line with the seasonals we expect from pound. I hope you enjoyed the content this week. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex trading content, and I'll speak to you in the next video.